Hey guys, this is Richard from Aficionado channel. How you guys doing today? Today in the Aficionado land, we have one and only Julian Sprung here. Julian, welcome.
Hi there.
So Julian, what are we doing today?
We are going to look at some feeding devices that my company, Two Little Fishies, produces, just to demonstrate some different ways of feeding using magnetic devices that make it easy.
I know that you had a revision recently on the magnets and such. Can you show me some of the stuff that you have here?
Sure. Well, when you mention the revision, I should explain that our devices are magnetically coupled. So you have the ability with the outside magnet to control the position of the device in the aquarium. And the revision you refer to relates to the inside magnet, or what I call the magnetic mount. We previously made that with a hole in it, and the magnet was put into that hole, and then we would provide a pressure-sensitive layer to provide a seal. And that worked really well, except when hobbyists would let the magnets slam together, and I didn't slam these, I just put them together, but since the magnets are very strong, when a hobbyist would let them slam together, it would break the seal, and we were getting a lot of reports of broken seal, corroding magnets, and that wasn't a good thing. So we went back to the drawing board and revised the method of manufacturing. And bear in mind that, you know, of course, people seeing this who aren't familiar with the product might say, well, that's an easy thing to solve. You just mold the parts and glue it and seal it. Well, you have to know that the design of this part is that it should float. If it ever were uncoupled from the magnet, it needs to float, and that limits the ways that you can seal the magnet in there and still have a product that floats and maintain it in a certain size and form factor. So there was a lot of head scratching and working with engineers to come up with the way. In addition, how to actually build it once you've come up with your prototype. It was a little more complicated than it might seem. So, but we've got it, and the magnet is permanently sealed in there. It will not corrode.
And you know, also, like what a lot of people do when they get a magnet, you know, when they come together, you know, you have to slide it off sideways. And I've seen a lot of people that just go like this and just pull this way, and I could see the pressure from doing this will destroy the seal that you had before.
The previous seal could easily have been overcome by pulling too hard that way. But if you didn't do those things, of course, they lasted literally for years. That seal did work, but it needed to be foolproof, and we've now made it that way. So again, we use this same magnetic mount now on our Veggie mag, on our Mega Veggie mag, on the mag feeder, and on the pouch feeder. Okay. And those are different products that I'm going to show you.
Awesome. Let's take a look.
Okay. Let's take a look. I think we'll start with the mag feeder, which is a feeding ring basically designed to hold dry foods. If you've ever fed flake food or pellet food in an aquarium that has strong water motion, those dry foods tend to float on the surface, and with strong water motion they end up getting drawn into the overflow or into the filters. To avoid that, there are various ring-shaped products that float on the top that are called a feeding ring. We make a feeding ring that is magnetically coupled, so you don't have the awful suction cup to deal with, and you can position it very easily anywhere in the aquarium. In addition to that, coupling on the feeding ring is a flexible joint, so that gives you the ability to change the distance from the wall of the aquarium, and that allows you to line it up under an automatic feeder, so that it's a convenient factor. So why don't we just put that in the tank. Now I'll add that this is the first time that his fish are going to be seeing the mag feeder. I don't know how they're going to react to it. I understand they're really good eaters, so odds are once the food is in there, they'll react positively. But when we first put it in there, they might wonder, what is this? I think that'll be a good spot. What I wanted to show you was that we chop our sea veggies into flake shape and flake size. So in addition to the sheets that people are so used to feeding with a veggie clip, sea veggies clip, or veggie mag, we make these flakes that are easy to feed in a floating feeding ring. In this one, you don't have to pull anything out of the tank. All you do is you come over with the food, you know, put a little food into the cap, like that. You can see that. And just go over into the ring and away you go. Presto. Easy feeding of greens. So it's starting to soak into the water and fall down from the ring instead of ending up at the surface going into the... See, look, they are eating. And that gives all the different fish a chance to feed. On a clip, there's a lot of competition. See, even the anthias are eating the seaweed. My sea veggies purple flakes. It's one of the oldest products from Two Little Fishies. I use it every week, almost every day I feed it to my aquarium. But it's something that I hardly ever see people in the hobby using because they don't really think about it. They're so used to putting seaweed on a clip. So one of the reasons why we produced the floating ring like that was to be able to market this food, which I think is so wonderful, and give people a way to feed it easily.
Okay.
You know, very often when you put the seaweed on a clip, you'll find that the more aggressive tangs are going to get there and they just sort of hog the space. I'm sure your triggerfish does that too. But a less aggressive tang, like a hepatus tang, he's got to hang back and wait till some pieces come off. And he may not have a chance to eat as much as the other fish do. So, of course, you can't qualify each species of fish as being more aggressive or not. You know, each fish is an individual, so certain ones may be more aggressive and able to defend. A solution to that, sometimes people will put 2 clips in the aquarium to give the more aggressive ones the chance to go to one side and the less aggressive ones go to the other side. Sometimes a fish is so aggressive it just defends 2 clips itself. But having a floating feeding ring and the food broken up into little bits like this allows the food to float all over the place and gives all fish a chance to eat equally. Richard, you were just asking me how strong the magnet is. This magnetic coupling is designed to handle up to a 3/4 inch aquarium easily. So are you 3/4 inch here?
Yes, I am.
So as you can see, with water flow there, it doesn't struggle. That's the ring. You can always purge what's in the flake, in the ring itself. As I mentioned before, you can get the ring to be closer to the glass if you want, or a little bit further, because it has an articulating joint on it, but easily handles 3/4 inch. Let's get the logo just right, huh? So we were going to move on to talking about another feeding device, which is called the pouch feeder. And I came up with this because I was thinking about a way to feed, I mean, not just sea veggies, any kind of algae or sheet food will go in here, but also frozen foods, and to create sort of a barrier between the fish and the food, give them something interesting to struggle with, to work on, so it would slow them down. When you give them the food directly in the water, they just gobble it all up. When you present the food on a clip, they peck at it, and if they're big enough, they tear it right off the clip. So putting the food into a mesh bag, you can see that, You see it opens up like this. It creates a barrier and it creates a challenge, which, I mean, fish like a challenge. When they're foraging on the reef, they're looking for food, they're going in little holes. This may not be exactly duplicating the reef in a pouch, but it does duplicate the effort that they have to make to try to pull the food through the holes. Turns out, though, that even though the holes are really quite small, the fish are very effective once they know that the food is there at pulling it through those holes. I think we'll try to present a few different foods and we can look at that. You'll see, even though it'll be, I think, the first time that these fish have seen it. It doesn't take them long to figure it out. Okay, so we're going to look at feeding some frozen food, in this case LRS Reef Frenzy Nano food. I'll just break off a little chunk. Got that on tape there. We just slide the piece right in.
Yep.
We could put more if we want, but I think that for this size tank is about right. Goes right on the magnet. And away we go. You just drop it. It finds the magnet. Your fish are wusses, man. Here he goes. See, now they go, oh shoot. Yeah. He's strong.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to demonstrate feeding sea veggies purple seaweed. This is the bulk pack. Take a piece like about that size, fold it. It's a good idea to fold it at least twice, maybe 3 times. And here we bring the clip up to the top. As I said, that'll stay there while I'm loading the clip. Then just drop it in. It finds the magnet, sprays salt water all over everything, right? And then we just put it where the fish are going to feed. It looks like that hepatus tang gets in there. He's not too intimidated. And the trigger is sort of leaving everybody alone.
That's really rare. That really,
Probably because he got the LRS food first.
that rarely ever happens. Look at that, we have like leper wrasses picking in.
Mm-hmm.
And like antheas, like, you know, you can see the bartlets and the larrytail right there. They just wait for that flake to fall out, and as soon as they see the little
Yes.
chunks, they'll just nibble and bite on it.
You know, sometimes people will, you know, be concerned about the seaweed falling apart like that. It helps to fold it as I did. That will keep it together as a nice chunk, but as it becomes fully hydrated, the original algae, which is smaller pieces, they start to flake off. Mm-hmm. And I consider that a good thing, because then the smaller fish are able to eat the little bite-sized pieces.
Yeah.
Put some of the LRS frozen food onto the Veggie mag right here. Let me see. As I was saying a moment ago, this one, I don't know how well it's going to stick to the glass. It's holding. All right, right there. Ready, guys? It's a great way to feed frozen food. That way the fish get a brain freeze and the nutrition.
Oh, look at his belly.
Yeah, he's a little bit round. Little round. What I wanted to show you was that the Veggie Mag was designed to work on aquariums up to 3/4 inch glass like yours, Richard. Has no trouble coupling, and there's no trouble holding the seaweed against your average size fish. But when you have a really big fish like a crosshatch trigger or a naso tang or a big angelfish, they can yank at the clip with the seaweed on it and pull it and separate. They can defeat the magnetic coupling. So seeing that possibility, we came up with a design using a larger external magnet. We really couldn't do anything about the inside magnet because it's as big as we can make it and still have the part float when it becomes uncoupled. It almost found that magnet. So here we have, as you can see, the same inside part, but the outside part has a 1 inch by 1 inch magnet. So when a fish tries to tug on this thing, he's not going to be able to defeat that magnetic strength. You might see the inside magnet move around a little bit, but it's going to come back and match the outside magnet. Something I didn't talk about with regard to Veggie Mag, and it's also true on Mega Veggie Mag. Exterior magnet has this funny shiny surface on it. Now when you're used to cleaning the glass with an algae cleaning magnet, you're accustomed to having felt on that surface, which allows you to just move along nice and smoothly. If you try to move this, it gets stuck. It doesn't move that smoothly. And the point of this was that it can stick to the glass by static cling, which you cannot do with that. You know, it's just going to fall. So on a Veggie Mag, if you have a fish that's strong enough to tug on this, what ends up happening is the thing will just migrate along. If they're strong enough to separate the inside magnet from the outside, that one will fall and roll under your aquarium. It's got the ability to stick like that. So yeah, of course it has to be clean for it to stick. Same thing here on the Mega Veggie. Of course, the magnetic force holding it on there enhances that static cling. Also makes it easy when you're pulling the device out and you need to load the clip. You don't need to put that somewhere. You can load it with food, drop it, it finds the magnet again, and then put it wherever you're going to feed. Once again, this is Julian Sprung from Two Little Fishies on the Aficionado YouTube channel. Is that right?
Yes.
That is right. And we're finishing up here with Veggie Mag. It's a product that I invented to make it easy to feed sea veggies. You can also use it to feed frozen foods. Handy little device. Fish love to play around with it while they're eating. It's easy for you to deploy the food in your tank because it's magnetically coupled, no suction cup. If it does become uncoupled, it floats, so you're not going to lose this in the aquarium. Handy little product. And I have no idea of a script, so we'll just kind of
Wing it. Yeah.
go right along.
Yep. Ready?
Ready, it's rolling and you just edit when you're done?
Yep.
Okay, so no picking of my nose?
Not, maybe after.
Shouldn't pick your nose either?
Well, you could do it for the bloopers, I suppose.
Right.